everybody, and welcome back to Reading Crossbow. My name is Lana, and this is my buddy Rob.
Hey Lana, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Both of us are tired, though, because we stayed up pretty late trying to catch the Northern Lights here in southern Idaho.
Yeah, it's totally failed.
It totally failed. So we got our spouses together. We joined up with some of my neighbors, and we're like, we're going to catch these, because we hang out outside the podcast, too, and we didn't. So both Rob and I are kind of like... we're getting through. Well, we got these books. I'm super excited about that.
Got some new books.
You know what I'm also excited about?
What's that?
We are, as of today, which we're always a little bit ahead of when people watch these, we are 9 subscribers away from hitting 100.
Nice. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, 9. Once we hit that big 100, we get a custom URL. So I'm super excited. So if you guys haven't yet, please subscribe right now because I would love for us to hit 100. Maybe we'll do something cool or we'll start to plan that special episode that we've kind of been talking about.
Okay. Sounds great. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Well, we have been talking about it, and so there's a couple of things we could do. We could do like a halfway through. What do we think about the book so far? Maybe adjust our ranking. There's a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about it. But hop in our Discord. You can join in on that type of discussion. But for now, what do you think? Should I kick things off?
Yeah. Let's see what you brought this time.
Dragonfall. Dragons. So both of us love dragons. I think I see some behind you, actually. If that's dragons, maybe not.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff back there.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to change things up, and it's funny because I think yours might have dragons too. But I wanted to change things up, and I was like, okay, all right, let's get a book with dragons because we've been reading. We had some magic systems back in the books that we've been choosing, but we haven't had dragons since Fourth Wing.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the last dragons.
Oh, that's too long to go without dragons on a show like this.
And
so
now we're gonna overdose.
We're probably going to overdose. And then one of my picks later this year is dragons also. So I need to look at our list and see if I need to space it better. But like dragons, and I think that there's a dragon on your cover. So we'll get there. Okay, first off, Dragonfall is about a world without dragons. It is by Laura Lam. And essentially the dragons... forever, many, many years ago, from what I understand from reading just kind of the excerpt on this, is that dragons were around for centuries and then were killed off or banished, sent to another world because they were bad or naughty or I don't know. I'm giving you the very abridged version. And then centuries go by and people forget history, and the humans in their current timeline think of dragons as gods. So it's kind of come full circle. Dragons were hated and banished, and now they're gods, and humans worship them, but there's no dragons left on this world.
Okay.
Until one day, when your average simple thief somehow gets in the right spot, right time, let's see if I'm reading this right, steals a powerful artifact. Everything lines up in these types of books. So magic, artifact, thief, not sure how this works. Somehow, some crazy spell brings back the last male dragon foretold to save his kind.
Okay.
It's drug through the veil between worlds, somehow, I don't know, and ends up on their planet, or world, or whatever, where dragons used to rule. And he's back, and his job, once returning to this world, is to, I think, basically, convince one little thief, so this is the main character, to trust him enough to bond completely, body, mind, and soul, and then kill them! Kill them all! Yet the closer the two become, the greater risk both their worlds will shatter. How's that sound so far?
That sounds a lot darker than mine's going to be, and that sounds unfair.
Well, okay, now that you said that, now I should probably give you the other part of the story, which I didn't know about when I first picked it up. I really just saw a red dragon on the cover and was like, that one. So, this is a queermance.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that you're okay with that. I think you are. Rob's pretty cool, you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, So first of all, one of the reviews says dragons have never been so sexy. Okay. Lamb's triumphant return to fantasy strikes the perfect balance between romance, action, high stakes heists, and betrayal. So, but then another one of the reviews says, tight, tense, smoldering, and wonderfully queer. So,
Okay.
not entirely sure who the romance is going to be about, but it's very interesting.
I guess.
And we haven't.
Wouldn't it be the thief and the dragon? I guess.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say. I mean, I kind of know, but I don't want to be too spoiler because I read some Goodreads.
Oh, okay.
So, here's what I can say because it's in the author's description on Goodreads, is that when the dragon comes back, he's in human form.
Okay, so not quite as beastie as some of the other romance books out there.
Right, we're not touching the bestial romance. But yeah, so we haven't had a full queermance, not yet.
Okay, sounds interesting. I like the world sounds very interesting, and strangely similar to what I picked.
Is this really?
Well, I think so.
Okay, we'll find out. So this might be a dragon versus dragon month. Like, whose dragon can top the other's dragon? And I'm already a little bit concerned that you might win, and you want to know why?
And why is that?
Look, there's just, yours is already girthier. Like, you have so much more dragon than I do. Your dragon is the alpha.
All right.
Well, tell me about the Priory of the Orange, and I have a little bit about that book to share too.
When we first started this channel, and I was trying to find books I've never read to try to pick something that kind of represents the styles of books that I've read in the past and have enjoyed. I was just walking around the bookstore, and really, I picked this book mostly because that cover. You know, it's
badass.
This cover is pretty cool. It's an angry dragon on the cover. I mean, it's just an amazing looking cover. And then I saw the side of the book and was like, yeah, maybe I'm going to hold off on this one for a bit. And focus on the grimdark. So, and we've been doing that for the last several months, and to not always as successful in converting you over to a grimdark fan. So,
not at all.
So coming up in the next couple months, I already have a couple books kind of planned out. I'm looking for some cyberpunk, at least something more recently published. I also have planned some cosmic horror, the Lovecraftian monsters type of stuff. And so before we went into that, I really wanted to pick something that I haven't really selected yet, which is basically high fantasy or epic fantasy. And so that's when I kind of remembered that I'd saw this one at the bookstore and was like, hey, to use your words, I'll pick the girthy one.
We all could use a little girth in our lives. Right?
So, yeah, something like that. So this book, just like I said, I picked it mostly based on the cover. I think it's a badass looking book. But from what I can tell, it looks like this is a world that has dragons in it. And it also has it might have a couple other dragon kin type creatures. There looked like there was wyverns as well as wyrms. And it looks like there's some sort of, maybe the wyrms are bad and the dragons are good. And so I'm not sure. I'm actually kind of going clean slate on this one. I didn't want to read too much into it at all. I just wanted to kind of just delve into this, big mama jamba type of book.
I'm super excited. And we've had someone bring up this book in our Discord as well.
Okay.
Actually, when we first started our Discord, like the first month we had it open, someone brought up that they were reading this book. And actually, so we've both been wanting to read this book. So this kind of falls into both of our categories, but definitely your pick this month. But I've had this book for 6 months now. And for
You
anybody
have?
that I have, yeah, I don't think Rob pays as much attention to our community page, you guys, because this has been on my TBR for 6 months. I posted a picture of this in my little library. It's a stack, and actually her other one, I believe the sequel, and then another Samantha Shannon book. So anyway, you can check that out on our community page. But I've had this forever. I also, same as you, did not go into this reading what it was really about. I just thought it was beautiful. It was highly recommended. A ton of my friends have read this, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. But yeah, the fact that it's so large, I just hadn't gotten to it. But I'm glad that you reached out and was like, hey, I think I want to read this book. Have you heard of it? And I'm like, absolutely, Rob, go for it.
I'm pretty excited about these two books. I mean, they both have dragons. They both have what I suspect is magic. You're probably not going to have dragons without some sort of magic system. So we should be able to get some more classic fantasy under our belt before I bring out some of the heavy hitters next month.
Yeah, I'm bringing out a classic next month too, because one is you have to read. You haven't read it yet, so that's coming. But I forgot to mention that this is a trilogy, actually.
Okay.
And I try not to read too much Goodreads, but this came out in May of 2023. So we're May of 2024. So it's been about a year, and the second book's not out yet. And from what I've heard, that this, we've started first books, right? We read Swordcatcher, and that's a first book in an upcoming series, and that ended not well, right? They didn't end the book well before going into the next one. I hate when they do that. And then the book that wouldn't burn, same. That's gonna be a trilogy or 4, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And that one for me also felt like I didn't love where they left it, but people are kind of unanimously, I hear this from everyone, that this ends in a great spot for a first book. So what I like about this for us is that if we choose not to read the second one, we're probably gonna be okay. I hope. We've had some bad luck.
But if it ends well, we'll probably be at least personally wanting to read the next book anyway. So I know several of the books that we've read, we've both independently just continued reading that series. I know we both bought the sequel to Fourth Wing. I kept reading the Poppy Wars, and I know you bought the Poppy Wars. I don't know if you continued reading it, but I kept on reading, and I've really enjoyed that series. So, if it's good, we'll probably keep on reading it.
And we forgot to mention, both of these have maps, and mine just has the single map, but your pick this month, not only it has, I think, 2 maps, it has icons or visual representation page of kind of some of the symbology that they use. And I want to say, I didn't count for myself, but something like 25 pages of glossary and names and people to help keep it all straight, because I guess this is super lore heavy, super rich and deep in the world building, so I guess it needs that. But it's also a little intimidating to know that yours has 25 pages of source reference material.
Well, but we definitely, this month though, we picked a real small book and a real big book, so it should average out to being similar to some of our previous months where we had Swordcatcher and The Book That Wouldn't Burn, both substantial books. We'll probably actually be similar page count to that for 1 month.
Yes, and something else different about our order this month is I did the last halfway review, and I'll also be doing the next halfway review. So we're kind of swapping our reading order this month just to kind of accommodate each other's schedule. So yeah, you just heard my halfway, followed up by our review of our last book, and then I'm next again on the next halfway. So yay, you guys get me twice. But anyhow, I'm excited. Dragons for all.
So be sure to pick up these books and read along with us. We're doing the Priory of the Orange Tree first, and then Dragonfall. These should be fun, high fantasy type of books. So we're both kind of excited to read it, and hopefully you can read it with us.
See you next time.